Hello everyone, and welcome to the live. This is the first one that we're doing in the afternoon, and this is for the fourth game. The game is going to be starting early because every Indian viewer is watching the game, so they have to adjust to us. So yes, the game is going to be starting early, and we are just waiting for a few people to tune in, and we can start. We will start by discussing the team, the breakup, and in the middle of that, maybe a little bit of Nikhil Bhai's holiday.
Yeah, we'll also definitely discuss few Grand League picks. Again, I think in the game so far, we've seen a lot of our calls work. So I think that is what I'll advise people in terms of people who are getting clash with each other. I think try those risks, be very calculative. Otherwise, in every platform, wherever you play, you are bound to get a opponent with a similar team. But if you are ready to take that one risk, maybe the vice captain, maybe it's that one budget pick that is the difference, then you can possibly not only avoid the clash but even get better of it. So again, it's a call that everybody can take for themselves. Advantage of playing on Fan2Play, again, you could mash up your team with more all-rounders, less batters if you're not convinced by batting, as we are not never convinced by batting. But yeah, so sometimes luck will also not go your way. Like Adam Blake had chances. We talked about Faf going early. He did. So I think those calls are very dicey. You will need the luck, but when it clicks in your favor, there's nobody who's going to come close to you. So I think that's very important. Back your gut feel on players, and yes, be ready to take some amount of risk to win big, because the leaderboard is going to come. So yes, we have leaderboard contest as well. So yeah,
Yes,
much
so the
worth it.
leaderboard contest is already ready for you to join.
Yeah.
And today, because it's an afternoon game, the spots and the competition is even
Yes.
lesser. It's only
Yes.
2,500 spots, which means that the number of people who can join this is lesser, and then the main leaderboard competition will automatically get eliminated.
Exactly.
So you should join this one very soon.
Just being smart ना देखो 2,500 people को हराना कितना ज़्यादा easy है as compared to beating lakhs of people. So just go ahead, multiple teams. Jai Mata Di.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
So let's discuss the team then for today's game.
Yes.
And I guess we'll go with one keeper, maybe based on whoever bats first. And currently, maybe we can slot in TKC there.
Yes. I think Matthew Wade, I think, is a very common example now. I think the entire world
Hmm.
knows it. Even Matthew Wade knows it that people only pick him if he bats first. So the same logic here. Just be careful who is going to be up against. That could also make a difference in terms of his matchup. What are the chances of him coming off? So that way he could be a very good differential option for you in terms of captain, vice captain as well. Because when he gets going, he usually gets a very big score, like a 60, 70. So then he could be a very good advantage over others.
Right, right. Also, I see a few questions coming in, guys. Just we'll discuss the team and post
Yeah.
that we will take all the
Yes.
questions. So don't worry about that. And
Yeah.
one thing I want to mention here is last year at FCP we were sort of a Chris Benjamin and Will Smith fan club, and we'll
Yeah.
continue to maintain that if Chris Benjamin
Bilkul.
bats first. So that I'll reveal at the deadline.
Yes.
And then in the batting, I think Liam Livingston is slotted in batting on most apps, but I'm expecting him to bowl in this
Yes.
tournament because it's a domestic one.
Yeah.
Alex Hales, you all will pick, and maybe one from Milan or Joe Root. Who would be your pick for this one, Nikhil bhai?
I'm expecting David Malan to bat higher up the order, which is why I'll
Hmm.
probably tempted to go with Malan. Again, Root is a handy option. Credit saver
Hmm.
pick if you want to, but not really sure of how much he's going to do. He hasn't had much time in this format of late, so I think maybe that way Malan is a better suited option. Of course, there is Will Smith down, and there is Brad Oliver as well. So again, 100. This game is very again good for GL. It's going to be played in
Hmm.
Nottingham. You know the venue. It is run scoring, higher run scoring.
High
But
run scoring.
in the last 7 games, I think 5 games are won by team batting first. So maybe that is a hint as well for you to remember that if the score is big enough, you can defend the score here despite the short boundaries, because you have to outpower. So maybe
Right.
you might want to take better, more all rounders, and I think we've picked them so far. So yeah, if you feel Root will bowl, you can
Bowl. Yeah,
definitely
he
take
did
Root
bowl
as well.
last year. Hmm.
Yeah, so he is a good pick. You also have Colin Munro. But again, you can't pick everybody. I'm not going to pick six batsmen for sure. But yeah, if you feel that that's your forte, that's how things work for you, please go ahead and do that.
Right. And one thing to note here is, guys, Birmingham Phoenix in the top order, Matthew Wade, Miles Hammond, Moeen Ali. These are three left-handers that might be on
Yes.
offer for Joe Root to bowl at. So
Yes.
that might be something for you to keep in mind before you make a final call.
Yep.
Then we have the all-rounders Moeen Ali and Daniel Sams again
Yeah.
pick themselves. Do you see Benny Howell being picked here because it's high run scoring and maybe his variations might not have as much offer as they might have on another ground?
Again, very tricky pick to be very honest, because
Hmm.
uh, see, I think in the three games so far, I have found the distribution very vague in terms of bowling.
Hmm.
Like yesterday, Tom Hartley bowled way back, and you are not very sure always of when people are going to bowl. So, and
Right.
again, blast games never go well for me at that venue, because
Hmm.
anybody can bowl, everybody can bat kind of situation. So I think Benny Howell will definitely, if he bowls first, I think could be a very tricky option to ignore, because if he's
Hmm.
bowling at the death, you never know. So I like, Rayas didn't play yesterday. So I think
Hmm.
seeing with the number of bowling options they have, I think that might give us a better idea of to who might be a better potential pick for us.
Correctly mentioned that Birmingham do have a lot of bowling options because
Yeah,
Moeen Ali, Liam Livingston, Benny Howell, and then you have the set of bowlers. So
yeah,
yes, correctly mentioned. And that brings us to the bowlers. Again, Adam Mill and Imran Tahir will be
yeah,
prime options for most people. In the
yes,
last bowler, I guess one of Rashid or Shamji can play because they're replacement for each other, but they have a game close by. Like one just played yesterday and one is supposed to play tomorrow or day after. So,
yeah.
do we want to pick one of them or go with someone like Matt Carter because he's also a Trent Bridge homeboy?
Yeah, I think I'm very tempted to pick Carter as my differential pick for the day.
Hmm.
More so if they bowl second. Again, tall
Right.
guy, he's
Hmm.
more than handy. And with this, we did discuss about the number of lefties that
Yep.
Birmingham have up top. So he
Hmm.
could potentially be, मतलब जो रूट से डलवाने से तो अच्छा है मैं कार्टर से bowling करवा लूँ. तो but again,
Hmm.
English games anything can happen. But I think
Right.
it's a very good differential pick to take.
Right. And yeah, like you mentioned, with the amount of left-handers, he should bowl his full set.
Yeah,
So I guess
ideally.
that closes 10 players for us. We have 10 credits and we are currently 5 players from each team. So
Yeah,
who does your last pick be? Either you can go for someone like a Joe Root if you want stability and maybe a sixth or seventh bowling option, or maybe
yeah.
someone like Benny Howell. So what do you feel on such a ground? Do we go with an extra batter or does the all-rounder give you balance?
I think an all-rounder will definitely provide more balance.
Hmm.
I might be personally very tempted to take in Rashid Khan if he plays and he's bowling first.
Hmm.
Even if he bowls second, to be honest, Rashid Khan is quality. I feel
Right.
I'll probably pick one of Rashid uh, or Shamsi, because
Whoever
we
plays.
have the batting
Hmm.
covered, and
Right.
I'm not somebody who usually trusts a lot of batting. But
Hmm.
because the all-rounders, I'm not sure of the distribution. Because with Rashid, I know he should bowl 20. That is the guarantee that I want to go into the game. That okay, he
Hmm.
should be bowling his set at least for sure. So that is where I'll probably side. But yeah, we can always take a final call just after the toss.
Right. So for now, assuming that Rashid Khan plays, we'll pick him in
Yeah,
this team, and then
yeah,
maybe we can take a final call based on the toss. And pretty balanced. We have three bowling
yeah,
options from both team. Fourth option, Liam Livingston, who's probably going to bowl his full number here. So
yeah.
I guess that makes it pretty balanced. Now on this ground, can you make Liam Livingston captain, or would that be too risky?
I think he is going to be a very common option.
Hmm.
Both him and Monelli will potentially be captain, vice captain of most sides.
Right.
So I think that is, and the captain question is out of the way. It's definitely going to be one
Hmm.
of them. For
Hmm.
vice captain, I think we have plenty of good choices, just like every 100 game.
Hmm.
TKC while batting first is very good. Alex Hales does well batting first. Will Smith also has, like Will Smith. I mean, you'll talk about him and Chris Benjamin more, I'm sure. But Daniel Sams while bowling first. So these are
Hmm.
the standard picks that you will definitely go with. Rashid
Right.
as well. If you feel something like a Rashid can, there is some grip on the surface, then he can also come into the game big time. So again, plenty of very good all-round value options.
Hmm.
Gregory, if he bowls first, for some reason he always comes in and takes wickets. So maybe he could slot in into your team as well. So yeah, plenty of good options. Just be very sure of the conditions and how you think the game will happen. Because if it's a one-sided affair and you don't have that combination, you'll not be in the winning zone. But if it clicks, if it's
Totally.
fairly balanced, you can multiply rotate with grand league risk, and then that should help you.
Yep, and for now, I feel like we are going with Liam and Moeen not only
Yeah,
because they're common, but because both of them are going to bowl probably their full set
yeah,
unless they really get hammered, and they're going to
yeah,
bat in the top four. So
yeah,
there's not too much of reason for you to take a differential choice in terms of captain, vice captain, because maybe your differential in this game will be your players more than the
yeah.
captaincy and vice captaincy
Yes,
opinion.
yes,
So I guess that locks the team, and I'll just display it one more time. TKC or Matthew Wade, one of whoever bats first, would be in our team. Then in the batting section, Will Smith, David Malan, Alex Hills, and Liam Livingston are captain. All rounders Sams or Moeen Ali and Benny Howell, if he bowls first, would slot into our team. Rashid Khan in the bowling, you should check if he plays or not. El Shamsi,
yeah,
and then the other three in Carter. If he bowls second, he'll surely be there. Otherwise, we'll slot him out for an all rounder, and the other
yeah,
two being Tahir and Adam Mill. So I guess that
yeah,
covers all our rotations and options.
yeah,
Okay, and we can take questions now. Yes, we can. And before that,
yeah.
I just wanted to discuss another thing with you guys. So there's something new that's come up for all of you today, where you have the 100% bonus contest. So many of you
Yes,
have been asking me that you have 50 rupees bonus, 100 rupees bonus. How do you use that amount? Especially because many of you are new
good. Yeah.
sign-ups, so I understand. But here in this case, you can use this 100% bonus contest for the West Indies versus India game. So just feel free to go ahead and make one crazy risky team to try and win this contest.
Yes, yes, and don't forget to join the leaderboard contest for the 100 game. Of course, the leaderboard is something will definitely show you now. But again, because there are so many good all-rounder options in this game,
Hmm.
you can definitely make multiple combinations. Make teams siding one side, and then you can put them in the leaderboard contest as we discussed. Just 2,500 people, very very easy to crack the leaderboard there, and of course you increase the chance of getting into the top of the main leaderboard as well. And there are very good prizes there. I'm just on the borderline because of my trip, and I've not been able to make multiple teams. But yeah, I think I'll get there very soon in terms of making multiple teams and getting catching up with Viren in that leaderboard.
I guess I am catching up with more people than you would be catching up with me. So yeah, I know many of them are close to the phone and the Noise smartwatch currently.
Nice.
So good to see that. And yes, I hope one of you go all the way up there
Yeah.
and get either the bike or the scooter too.
Yeah, it will be great, no, that if you are able to help you make better teams and get some really good prizes, it benefits you as well. It benefits us as well that you guys have always tuned in to watch our content and you've
Yep,
benefited from that.
totally.
So yeah, that is nothing like it in terms of value for money. You just have to tune in, take the information, make money, and of course get great gifts. So I think it's a win-win situation for all.
Yes, absolutely. So we are
Yep.
open to taking questions now, whatever questions you guys have.
Yep.
So first one is Summit is a good CVC choice, runs in the blast,
Yeah.
handy with the ball, and someone else has also added saying that the opposition team has three right-handed batters.
Yeah.
So should we take him in the team, and why? If not, then why?
Yeah, I think as I said, there are plenty of very good options. If Rashid and Samshi both don't play, and you feel Carter may not be a good pick for you, you can definitely go with Samit. I don't think credit will be an issue with Samit Patel there. Again, as I said, blast games at Nottingham are very haunting at times because you don't know who will come in and bowl where and do what. Just like I think, just to give an example, New Zealand second T20, Mitchell Santner came out to bat and scored a hefty score. Now, how on earth are you going to be able to predict that happening in terms of why would Mitch Santner come in and score those many runs? So that is always going to be the case with all rounders, which is why we prefer them as well. In terms of if given a chance, you will always back a better all rounder, but you just have to be very sure of their role. If you are very sure of the role, yes, Samit Patel will always be a great choice. Nottingham lad, he's played all his cricket there. He knows everything about the venue as well. Again, if you feel the pitch has something for the bowlers, pack your team with bowling all rounders. It will definitely work for you as well.
Yep, and again, Summit is also
Yeah, exactly.
Nottinghamshire player. Yeah, so he should
Yeah,
know the conditions decently well.
yeah.
Please tell something about Lewis Gregory as all-rounder, batting and bowling का कितना chance है?
सर्व कैप्टन है. Now that is the answer to every question in life. वो खुद कैप्टन है टीम का. Again, I think jokes aside, as we say for every team, see the number of bowling options they have. if he's the 7th or the 8th option, then I'm not sure how many sets he'll bowl.
Hmm.
He'll probably bowl 5 in just wanting 1 wicket. He could do that and get away. But if he's the 6th or the 5th or the 6th bowling option, then
Then you
you
stop.
should definitely take him in and slot in a very good position. You could even make him your vice captain if he's bowling first.
Hmm.
Again, be very sure of his role. That's what we, which is why again we wanted to play on Fan2Play. Because there you could take the risk of taking two batters and then pack your team with five multi-dimensional all-rounders, so that you're never losing out on those points. So I think first few games are always going to be tricky with batting orders, but bowling also, the number of options will probably decide what will be the first primary role of the captain here.
And is it right to take four spinners in our team as Trent Bridge is high scoring? So Liam Moeen, but Ashish, one thing here
No.
is Liam Moeen are not playing, like their primary role in our team is
Yeah.
not a spinner. Their primary role in our team is because they are big hitters, and that should work for them at Trent Bridge. And Tahir and Rashid are anyway world class, so they should be able
Yeah.
to find their way out, especially if they're bowling second, like Nikhil Bhai mentioned. When teams are batting first, they're piling up big scores here,
Yeah.
and then a pile of wickets is falling in the second inning. So yes, if you want to take a risk on any of these guys, it's when they're bowling first. Otherwise, it's too
Also,
risky.
see, the good thing about, again, not sponsoring too much, but that's the advantage you have with Fan2Play. You can do that. You could go
Hmm.
with just two bowlers there, whoever you feel will be best. And again, don't take Rashid and Tahir. Pack more all-rounders. The thing is, the problem with blast games at this venue is, one bowler takes one, he ends up taking two, three. And that is the worry with world class players, that, like with Shamsi, you always know if he gets an early wicket one, he'll take two,
Hmm.
three for sure.
2, 3, 4.
Same with Chehel, same with Rashid. They take that early wicket, they are a different bowler altogether. So it's your call. I'll say maybe make one team where you don't pick them, but also make a team where you pick them and see how that goes for you. And
Hmm.
the thing with Moin and Liamstone is they also are fielding in very hot spots, in very key hot spots right through
Especially
the game.
Liam. Hmm.
Especially Liam. So you could potentially make up his batting points just by his catching. And I think that's a very good thing to have. Somebody like Shikhar Dhawan, Faf, that's what these guys do. Even if they
Hmm.
don't score runs, they give you those catching points because they are always in the hot spot. So I think these small things can make that difference. But yes, at the end, it's always your call. Go ahead with what you feel the conditions will dictate, and then pick more all rounders or bowlers or batters.
Totally.
Yeah.
Nikhil bhai, this is for you.
मेरा नाम ले लो अमर उजाला, शिवम मिश्रा सर, आप खुश रहें, हेल्दी रहें, दैट्स ऑल दैट विल प्रे फॉर। और हाँ, खेल रहे हो फैंटेसी तो जीतते भी रहें, बिल्कुल।
Yesterday from noise to headphone. Amber,
Oh,
I'm tracking your leaderboard rank once in a while, and the way you're going to end up with at least one of the bike or the scooter. That's what
गाड़ी
my
लेके
gut
जाने
feel
वाले,
is.
गाड़ी लेके जाने वाले।
Which private contest do you play? 1% winning, 0%, 10 or 50? I think Nikhil bhai will answer this one better because I don't play too many of them.
सर 0% विनिंग तो डेंजरस हो जाएगा खेलना। बट या, दैट द मैच हैज टू बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ कितना कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ मैं अबाउट अ पर्टिकुलर गेम एंड माय कॉम्बिनेशंस। जैसे आयरलैंड की गेम्स हो रही हैं, जब न्यूजीलैंड गेम्स हो रही हैं, उनमें मैं नहीं खेल रहा हूँ प्राइवेट कॉन्टेस्ट, बिकॉज आई नो टीम्स आर गोइंग टू डू हेल लॉट ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट्स एंड देन sometimes they go just batshit crazy in terms of they do anything. So that is something that I avoid. But in games
Hmm.
where I'm sure, in terms of there are many good options, there could be many all-rounders to risk with, that's where I start and join contests with, say, the 1% winning, where just the topper wins. But again, for me, the number of people matter. So I don't play more than 1,000, because then it's as good as a grand league. I would rather play a 300, 400 member league or a 500 member league. थोड़ा एंट्री फी हाई भी रहेगा तो भी it works fine, because see, let's take an example of a 33 rupees league. You invest 330 rupees, or if you're making 11 team, 363 डालोगे आप. You could potentially put that investment in 10 games, you'll be still putting 3,630 rupees. You win one of them, you get 10,000. So that's how the math works for me, that I'm trying to win at least 1 in 10 to begin with. बिकॉज उतना प्रोबेबिलिटी तो होना चाहिए कि यार 10 में से एक गेम तो जीतोगे आप. So then that's how I find my contest, in terms of, okay, which could be the ones that benefit more. And if it doesn't work for you, keep exploring. That is, I think, the thing with private contests. Keep exploring, play the 50% one where there are 18,000, 20,000 people. क्या पता उसमें आप कर रखो. So on your the only point is, see, we often have very bad days or average days in fantasy, and that is fine. My only motto now in the last few years is when you have a good day, it has to be bloody good. It has to be such that you are overpowering almost everybody and getting 10, 20 to 30% X returns, which may not happen always. It's okay to happen once in a month, but that one day has to be like a lottery. Wow, आज क्या बात होगी. So that is how I've structured my playing strategy now. Of course, we always evolve and see how the games are happening and change accordingly.
That was quite detailed, and I also learned a bit from that one. What is more profitable, C, VC, all rounder, or bowler? So, bowler in this case, you have to try and figure out what is the probability of that all rounder bowling as much. Like Nikhil
Yeah,
bhai mentioned, if they're the sixth or seventh bowler, and if they're batting low, then their value automatically reduces there. So, try to understand what is their value in the real game time, and based on that you'll be able to derive. Like if you know Dwayne Bravo is going to bowl 15 out of the 30 last balls at the death, then obviously that increases value. You cannot control drop catches or anything of that sort. You have to think from the point of view कि वो कहाँ डालेगा and वो points पे wicket लेने का क्या probability, and based on that you can make a final call.
yeah,
And guys, if you have any two things I want to add here, if you guys have any questions, even in terms of any other games, I understand there are many games today. Happy to
yeah.
answer. And if you are putting a question, in case you're unable to understand Hindi or English either, you can just mention which language you want us to answer. We are happy to answer in that language also.
Yeah.
What about the women's match prediction for India versus England women? So I guess I'm going to go maybe more balanced, 6-5 maybe in favor
Yeah,
of India. But obviously this is England's home ground. They have that added advantage. And our spinners have not been in the best of form. Our pacers have
yeah,
been getting all the wickets. And with England, we would require our spinners to come to the fore today. So yes, it
yeah.
totally depends on how our spinners play. I feel like they will decide this game.
Yes, pretty much. And I think something also very important, back the form players for both sides. Those who've been in regular touch and they've looked good when you've seen them bat. So उन पे risk लेना is far more comfortable as compared to saying something like a Radha Yadav could suddenly come in and bowl a great spin. She can do that, of
Hmm.
course, but what are the chances? So same thing works everywhere. Think about the visualization, how you think the game will pan out, और फिर वैसे आपकी safe एकदम रिस्की कॉम्बिनेशंस बनाते जाओ.
Right. And question your combination of CVC from an expected losing team, and how do you tackle that? So Ambar, if you feel like there's a team that you expect for to lose, but that team has two or three players that are really strong and overpowering the rest, then maybe you can take a chance on vice captain or captain. But you also have to understand that that one, two, or three players will be under a massive amount of pressure to perform. So will they be able to
Yeah,
click on that specific day, and will they be able to bring it home for you? That is the question that you have to answer. Like today, the person who's going to be in that shoe might be Renuka Singh, because Meghna Singh has got hit around, Radha Yadav has got hit around, Sneh Rana is going to bowl to a top order that has six right-handers. Same for Dipti Sharma. So the whole onus is on Renuka Singh, and even though she's
yeah,
25% captain, do you feel like England might just bat her out and try to go after the
yeah,
rest? So that is the question you have to answer. Do you feel like the conditions will get as much swing as she has been getting till now?
yeah. I think one more great example here could be Jamaria Atapattu from Sri Lanka.
Hmm.
Almost every game, everybody picks her, but she's not been in the best of batting forms. So, and she's getting out early as well. So, if she's a very common pick, she's a very common captain as well. But you have to be very sure if everybody else is failing, what are her chances of coming good? Even she's that good, but if she's not in the best of form, she will also struggle a bit, right? So, again, most of the games in the Commonwealth as well, I've not picked Chamari because I would rather pick a Rana Vira or a Rana Singhe or a De Silva because I know they are going to bat in the middle overs and they might give me more points. So the value of the player also depends on where they start. If Chamari was
Hmm.
batting in the middle overs, I would always take her because again, different role, much more chances of getting points out. And okay, again now he was my captain. Basid Elite was my captain most of the game that is recently played. Why? Bats in the middle overs, bowls in the middle overs can always give you some handy returns for sure. As compared to a strong side where you're not sure which bowler will take wickets today. किसका आज लॉटरी लगेगा, you don't know. But क्योंकि Bashi Delayed definitely bowl करेंगे, bat करेंगे बीच में, तो again he makes a very good vice captain choice. So again very good question there. But as I said, if given plenty of examples, उसमें से आप किसी एक के साथ definitely relate कर पाओगे, and then you'll be able to make a call.
Yep. And should we go with 11 teams and 39 mini GL? So Arnav, depends on the kind of risk that you're taking. If you're taking a very high amount of risk, then to go 11 teams in that league will be quite difficult, because in that sort of league 70% of your teams will generally be in the top 50%, where you get back either 50 or 30 rupees. Now in that case, if you take a massive amount of risk and it doesn't pay off, then you might end up losing a lot of money there. So maybe you want to take that chance in a private contest rather than a 39.
Yeah, or what you can simply do is just break down 11 into 6-5 or 5-6 combination. कि 6 टीम से आप विनिंग जोन में एक्सपेक्ट करोगे रहना, नो मैटर व्हाट हैपेंस, बट 5 या 4 ऐसी होनी चाहिए जो हारे तो भी ठीक है. So again, if you are able to break that combination well, then you can do it 11 teams with any contest. So yeah, we spend a lot of time on deciding what contest to play, because that decides how far you're going to go in fantasy, much more than your investment or your how many games you're playing. Where you are investing that money in what contest, that decides that a lot more.
Right, totally. So guys, any other questions, you can put them in 10-15 seconds, else we can close today's discussion.
Yeah.
And Jatin, we already about
the session was, I think, much more beneficial in terms of fantasy
and very interactive.
Yeah.
It was Benny Howell bowling in the death in the blast. So Jatin, we mentioned if Benny Howell's team is bowling first, we will still have him in the team. So there's no doubt that he is a very good pick, and bowling first surely would be in our team. In case he's batting first, then we'll see what is his bowling number. Is he the sixth bowler, fifth bowler? What number is he batting at? And then based on that, we'll take a call on Benny Howell.
That's how we'll take a call on many all-rounders today, to be very honest.
Yeah, I guess the best approach for you to answer whether you want a guy who bats low in your team is he going to bowl? Like yesterday for me, Ashton Turner, I was expecting him to bat. He didn't end up batting, so whatever, that didn't work out. But he did end up bowling. He bowled only a set of 5, which he bowled really well, got a wicket. Should have bowled more, but anyway, that is a question to answer for another day.
It's for the captain, not for us.
Yep. So I guess we can close the discussion then. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. Those asking for the link of the app, you can download the app from the description below, and all the links are present there. All of our Telegram links, Nikhil Bhai's Twitter links, so you can just go there and follow from there itself. And stay tuned. We'll come up again tomorrow. Do let us know, 12 p.m., 2 p.m., whatever suits you, we'll come in and we'll give you all the best tips and feedback that we can. So thank you everyone for joining in. Stay subscribed, keep liking, commenting, sharing, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Please don't forget to share with your friends if you like the content, because that is how we'll get this community growing more. Thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.